Hello and welcome. In this video we are continuing to look at some advanced uses of awk. As you can see, it's only a few slides long, so this should be pretty quick. We're just looking at several special conditions that you can use in your awk commands. So, as I said, and I should really move to the introduction slide before I start talking, we're just going to build on awk by adding in these two special conditions that you can use. This assumes you're already familiar with the basics of how awk works, the way it reads data from a file and runs that through multiple expressions. Well, one or more expressions. In this case, you really need to use multiple expressions for this to be at all useful. As with a couple of the other previous videos, I'm going to be keeping what we do here deliberately really simple, just so we can focus on this particular capability. It won't really demonstrate the power of this capability until we start combining it with some things later on that are coming up in the other videos. So there are two special conditions that we can use in our awk expressions, and each of them can only happen once. There is the condition begin, all in capital letters. This happens at the start of the command before awk reads any data from a file. Especially useful if we have multiple files that we're potentially reading from. This way we can do something right at the start before we read any data. And, well, if we have begin, we also have end. Something to happen at the end of all the data. Something to happen last. Whether you've got one file, two files, 5 files that awk is reading from, once it has read through them all, then this end expression happens. Begin is typically used to do things like initialize a variable or create a header for a report, both of which I'll demonstrate in later videos, and often used to do things like create a footer for a report, or do some calculations based on stuff we've stored in variables that we've gathered data from or gathered information from our source data, and then we do some calculations once we've seen it all. That, of course, means we need to look at variables, which we haven't done yet. We will. So right now, this is going to be really simple, not really going to show any useful power to it, but it will show you how it works. So we could awk begin and give some instruction. In this case, I'm saying print all the fiat cars. Then we have another expression. If the first field matches fiat, we print, what is that, the model and the price. And then a third expression, end, and it's just a footer for the end of the report. Doesn't really do much, but we can see how it works. I typed that in advance so I wouldn't have to type it live, just because guaranteed I would make a typo. And we get our header, all fiat cars. We get the, I guess that's a Fiat 600 for $450. And then at the end of all our data, we get end of report. And that's it. Begin happens, Begin happens before we look at any data, or before awk looks at any data. End happens after awk has looked at all the data. And it allows you to take, well, some preliminary action and some last action at the end. So, what we've looked at, very briefly, is a couple of more capabilities to our awk command. These two special conditions that happen before and after the main task that awk is going to accomplish. This is just another capability that is going to add to this really, really powerful text filter that once we start combining all of these extra capabilities will make text changes or calculations very, very easy to do. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.